telescope is an extension of its owner that allows us to peer into the universe to see nature on the grandest scale, with wonders that boggle the imagination.
Hey, this is Galaxy Log for February 2023, and it's subtitled Wonders of the Galaxies. I started astronomy at a young age in 1968, and my parents' home was right across the street from the elementary school, which also had the public library. And in the public library, it carried Sky and Telescope magazine. And one of the columns that I really enjoyed was the Deep Sky Wonders column by Walter Scott Houston. And in 1971, when for my 13th birthday, my parents got me a Edmund Scientific 6-inch reflector. So Deep Sky became really my avenue. That's where I really started taking off on being a deep sky astronomer. And so every month when the magazine would come out, that would be the Deep Sky Wonders column was the first thing I went for in there. And I found it was fascinating with Walter Scott Houston that a lot of his observations were with a 4-inch long focus Clark achromat refractor. And this book here, The Deep Sky Wonders, I highly recommend getting to read. That has a lot of his observations that he did, and in particular the 4-inch refractor. So I thought it'd be interesting to do a galaxy log using my 4-inch achromat. First galaxy is NGC 2403 in Galaxies. Here's where the galaxy is located from Stellarium Web. Galaxies doesn't have a lot of bright stars, so if you're star hopping, actually for galaxies, especially this galaxy here, it's a little easier to go off some of the brighter stars of Ursa Major to star hop to the galaxy. Here's a closer view where the galaxy is located. Some fairly bright field stars to help you, that can be picked up in a finder scope to help you locate the galaxy. And here's my near view image. The galaxy log date is February 13th, 2023. You can see here's the particulars. The magnitude is 8.5. It's a bright galaxy, but the surface brightness is low. Large size. Here's the type and the distance. Also have a sky survey image of this beautiful spiral galaxy. Near view image here's the telescope. It's a 4-inch f6.47 refractor. Eyepiece is with a 9mm, which gave me 73 magnification. Sky conditions very good. There was some issue that I had, and you'll see coming up. But the transparency was really good. It was a really good transparent night. And this part of the sky with the dark side I was at is very good. That's good dark sky. So here's the near view image. The galaxy is fairly large, even at only 73 magnification. It's situated between these field stars of around 10th magnitude or so. What I saw was a brighter inner region, no distinct stellar nucleus, but a brighter inner region. And then with averted vision, you could see the disk of the galaxy really grow. And a little bit of modeling, especially in the middle. You could see a little bit of modeling, especially when the seeing conditions would really steady and you could pick up a little more detail. But I thought it was a pretty good view, giving that it's a smaller telescope and surface brightness is low. So I really enjoyed this view of this galaxy. I've done it before with the larger telescopes and viewed this galaxy and got some incredible detail. But it was fun seeing what I could see with the 4-inch refractor. Next is NGC 2775 in Cancer. Here's where the galaxy is located. Here again, Cancer, is not a bright constellation. And it kind of is situated right on the border of Cancer and Hydra, near the head of Hydra, which is right here, of course. So it's actually easier to star hop off these brighter stars from Hydra. This is where the galaxy is located. Closer up view. And here's our near view image. The galaxy is pretty bright at 10.1 magnitude, surface brightness 12.9, decent size, the type, and of course it's much farther out. For this near view image, it's with a 7mm eyepiece. It gave me 94 magnification. The galaxy is not doesn't really have any distinct detail. There was a faint star nucleus I could see. Gave me kind of an oval shape to it, a little bit brighter intersection. And then with the averted vision, you can see a very faint outer disk, but it wasn't really anything special, but it came out pretty well in the 4-inch refractor, and I thought it was pretty neat to see the galaxy in a smaller telescope. I think maybe higher magnification I could have gone to, because it does have a pretty decent surface brightness. But this view was pretty good. So after I observed NGC 2775, the wind started really picking up. This was the issue I had. It really started gusting and blowing. I thought, well, the temperature was dropping quickly. I mean, the wind's going to be a pain in the butt. So I figured, well, I'm going to spend maybe the next half hour before I break the telescope down to go home, just looking at eye candy. Just look at some of the brighter galaxies and just sit and have a great views of some of the brighter galaxies that are in the sky that the 4-inch refractor would bring up very well. And so that's what I did. So first eye candy I went to is definitely a favorite galaxy of mine. It's NGC 2903 in Leo. And for the near view image, I used a 12mm eyepiece, which gave me 55 magnification. And the galaxy stood out really well. This was a really good view. I thought that the 12mm with the 4-inch refractor really captured it as a galaxy. It showed a brighter inner region, a little bit of faint stellar core, and a very elongated or oval shape, a disk of the galaxy, and a bit of modeling. It was really a great view, even though the wind was picking up like that. It seemed the mountain was holding pretty steady with the telescope, and I was able to get a really nice view of a favorite galaxy of mine. So next I went to the Leo trio, M65, 66, and NGC 3628. Here's 65 here, here's 66, and 3628 is this faint, large, edge-on galaxy. But it gave, I tell you what, it was a nice view. Fortunately, like I said, the sky conditions as far as transparency was really good. It was one of the better nights that I've seen at this dark site for a while. And so the galaxies were really popping. This was with an 18mm eyepiece. It gave me a nice magnification of 37. And just another really good view through a 4-inch refractor. And then I figured, you know what, I'm going to look at the two brighter and Messier Galaxies with a little bit higher magnification. So I put a 7mm eyepiece in there, which gives you 94 magnification. And the view was really good. I was actually surprised how each stood out, and it did have to do with the sky conditions as far as the transparency, where the sky background was really nice and dark. So the contrast was really good between the galaxy's light and the dark of the dark background sky. Uh, M65 showed this large central bulge. You could see it extending really well, almost north to south. M66, was a barred spiral and it had this elongation. You could see it in the inner part of the galaxy, and with vertivision, it really grew out this large disk that it has. So it was a really nice view of these two Messier galaxies that are so neat to view. And then also another trio, actually, and Ursa Major, M81, M82, and NGC 3077. And this is with the 18mm again. And here, of course, is M81, M82, beautiful pairing on the sky. M81, of course, one of the brighter galaxies in the sky. And then over here to the southeast is NGC 3077, which is kind of like a faint round disk with a little bit brighter core region. But yeah, it was really a nice view. I thought this view here was hard to take my eye away from. So I did something pretty neat before I broke down. Figured, M82 is such an interesting galaxy, especially for smaller telescopes. If you're using really big telescopes and you're at a good dark site, M81s really start showing a lot of detail with the spiral. You can see the spiral arms and stuff. But with a smaller telescope, M82 is the one to really play around with, and that's what I did here. I actually put a 3.2mm eyepiece, which is now over 200 magnification, and I got a really good view of M82. You could actually see some structure, large dark cloud, a little bit of the dark patches or dark lane, extended really well. It's really before I started packing up. I really put my eye to the eyepiece with this for a bit, even though the wind's starting to really pick up. And I was actually surprised how much detail. I think Walter Scott Houston would have been proud to sit down and look through this telescope and see this view. And it brings back a lot of memories of when I was a kid, of seeing some of these objects for the first time. And this view kind of really excited me for what a 4-inch refractor can actually do. Okay, this is a summary of this galaxy log. First, here's the dark site. It's my normal dark site that I like to use, which is only a 30-minute drive north of where I live. Here's a Google Earth at night shot of it. It's rated a Bortle 4, but this night was actually really good as it gets as far as transparency. As I mentioned, the only problem I could say was the wind. We had it wasn't too bad early on, but it just got worse as the night went on. The telescope is an Explorer Scientific First Light 4-inch f6.47 refractor on a Celestron AS-CG5 mount. Now, one thing I did upgrade was the dielectric diagonal, and I think that produced even better images. I think it could actually be pretty easy to see the difference between that and the cheaper diagonal that I was using before. As far as eyepieces, for NGC 2403 was a Celestron XL LX 9mm. For NGC 2775 and the view of M65 and M66 together was the Celestron XL LX 7mm. For NGC 2903 was the Celestron XL LX 12mm. These are actually really good eyepieces, without spending a whole lot of money. They're lightweight, they're nicely built, decent field of view, good eye relief, and seem to have pretty good light transmission. So yeah, I like them. Good to use with a smaller telescope. And then for the Leo Trio and M81, M82 with NGC 3077 was Celestron XL LX 18mm. Then for that final view of the night, the M82 at high magnification, it was a BST 3.2mm. It has like a 58-degree field of view, so it's not quite as much as the Celestrons, but still a nice eyepiece and gave a really nice view of M82. And that's it for this month's Galaxy Log. Clear dark skies and happy galaxy observing.